Hey guys, welcome to the video. For those of you who don't know, Title Update 9 dropped yesterday in Division 2, bringing obviously some big changes, some good, some bad. Today we're going to go through some of them, what they mean for your DPS builds, and then we're going to go through what I think is going to be the new standard, the new go-to DPS build. I've run it a couple of times. I think it works really well. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So here we're looking at the old DPS build, which is obviously running the M1A, classic M1A rifle with the Crusader ballistic shield, having the ×8 scope with focus on the backpack. It would be focus at the minute, but I've obviously re-rolled it because of the changes that they brought, meaning that you can no longer run the ×8 scope with the shield without having to zoom in, which is one of the big perks that people were making advantage of with the old DPS builds. Now that you've got to zoom in on that scope, it's got a little bit less playability. Next, you've obviously got the massive 40% damage reduction for the classic M1A. This obviously is the same for the Baker's Dozen as well, with it being the name version of that rifle. So big loss there. It is still usable, nothing wrong with it, but the 5.4 million crit headshots that I was getting before now are down at around about 2.7, 2.8. So it's a big loss damage wise there. You've obviously got the AR buff, bringing the health damage from 15% max up to 21%, which is a big buff for the ARs. So you'd be looking at doing some good damage with those, with any potential DPS build as it stands. And then you've got the contracted gloves with the Fox's Prayers. Both of their named attributes been brought down to 8%, with the damage to armor and the damage to target out of cover. So some fairly big nerfs there coming to pretty much everyone's DPS build, because this was almost considered the go-to, the meta build if you like, for DPS before Title Update 9 was released. So that's my old build there. Moving on to what I think, or what I've changed my new build to. We have switched it up. So in our old build we were running Sharpshooter, obviously for that extra 15% rifle damage that you get. Now I've gone back to Gunner, and I've actually scrapped the rifle completely. I've gone back to LMG, and we've swapped out the Fox's Prayers. They are gone. Now that is an alternative. You can stick them back in, because having them in there you get the extra damage percentage and the extra 8% damage to target out of cover, your multiplicative percentage, and your crit damage or crit chance, whatever you've rolled on there as well. So you can get the extra little bit of damage from wearing those. However, I believe the new alternative, or the new standard, is going to be the Sawyer's knee pads. They've had a buff, so before you could not be staggered by explosions. Now that's a permanent buff, and the increased total weapon damage by 3% for each second that you're not moving stacks up to 10, and it's lost when you move, meaning a big 30% damage bonus. So all you got to do, be in cover for a little bit, and you're getting those stacked damage bonuses. That, and obviously the armor stats, mean that you get a little bit more survivability in your build, especially for those of you that might be running glass cannon. I don't personally, because I don't think it's worth it for the damage that you take, especially if you're running perfect glass cannon with the 60% amplified damage as well. So I think the Sawyer's knee pads are the way to go. Having scrapped the rifles completely as well, when you look at the weapons, I've switched back to the LMG, the Negev, with Frenzy. Having that with Gunner and the large pouch, you obviously get the extra damage and rate of fire when you reload from empty as well, and we'll get onto a demonstration of that very shortly. The rest of the build is similar to what you would expect for another DPS build. So we get that crit chance stacked right up near the cap of 60%, and then at that point you start stacking as much crit hit damage as you possibly can. So with the mask here, 15% weapon damage, 10% crit damage, 6% crit chance, and then the mod for the extra crit damage as well. Another 5% crit chance on the backpack running Vigilance. Without the shield, this could probably be changed now. Maybe Composure for a safer option on having a damage buff, because if you're not using the shield, are you going to be able to make the most of that Vigilance buff? So I'm still debating whether to switch that one to Composure. Obviously, as you can see, I've already rolled crit damage on this backpack, so I would need to go and farm for a second one. So that is an option. You can still run Vigilance if you want to. Then you've obviously got the Contractor's Gloves. Sticking with those for the 8% damage to armor, and it is a god roll set of gloves, so I'm going to keep them. Then you've got the chest piece, switched out focus because it doesn't work with the shield anymore, and you've got to stay scoped in on your 8x scope to use it, as I've already mentioned. So I have changed it to Obliterate. Critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1% for 5 seconds, stacks up to 15 times. You've got an extra 15% weapon damage, providing you're obviously hitting those crits as quickly as possible. Now that is the reason that I've switched out the rifle, because if you're running an AR or a LMG, you're going to be stacking those crits up as quickly as you can, getting the maximum 15% weapon damage all but instantly. So I've got Obliterate there. Obviously, as you can see, I've got a blue secondary attribute for armor regeneration. That is not an ideal scenario. I would like to have the little bit extra crit chance in there, but when you go into my stats, as you can see on my LMG, I'm already running 55.6 crit chance. That obviously comes down to weapon mods as well, so I'm not overly fussed about losing that one just yet. I am still looking for another chest piece to replace that one. Because we're near the 60% crit cap, we are looking to stack as much crit damage as possible. So the other alternative is a Grupa Sombra SA holster. Now that obviously, having a 1-set bonus, gives you plus 15% crit damage. Same principle as if you had the 3-piece Providence, where you got the 15% crit damage there, but as I've already got the 3, got the chest piece, got the mask, and I have the backpack, Grupa Sombra gives me another 15% by having that one in there as well. Obviously got the max 12% crit damage and 5.7% extra crit chance there. All 3 of my mods on my gear as well, all stacking up that crit damage. So when you look at the stats, as you can see, I'm running a nice 146.7% on the AR, and then the same goes for the LMG. So we've got some really good stats going there. Then obviously you can switch, as I've already mentioned, back to the Fox's Prayers if you really want to, but I feel like the survivability that you get from the Sawyer's knee pads is going to be really, really good for these DPS builds, especially if you're running solo heroics, control points, missions, whatever you might be doing. So let's get into some demonstrations then. Before I do that, quickly, I'm running Banshee, so I've switched out the shield for Banshee Pulse purely for the disorientation effect that you get. I do think it's really, really helpful, especially in a solo scenario, just to give you that little bit of kiting time to get away from your enemies or get your shots off, whatever it might be. So I've switched out the shield for the Banshee Pulse. Again, comes down to your play style, however you like to play it. You could run a fixer drone or whatever it might be. So that's what I'm running on this build. That's what I think is going to be really, really good for most people. On the AR as well, obviously with that all but god roll, we're running the extra 21% health damage, and then we've got strained as well. So let's get into some demonstrations, and then we'll get into some missions and show you what you can do out in the city. So we've got an elite enemy here on the shooting range. As you can see, taking cover straight away. We can see down there just below my ammo count, we've got the Sawyer's knee pads damage buff stacking up straight away. Scoping in on the AR, taking out elite enemies relatively quickly. I'm happy with that. That feels quite nice, it feels quite comfortable. Switching to the LMG. Got a nice rate of fire there. As you can see, it's doing a reasonable amount of damage, reasonable amount of DPS. Switching over to a named target then. I'm just going to empty my magazine here just to demonstrate the Frenzy talent and how good it is. So here we go. You'll notice a big improvement in the damage and rate of fire now. Absolutely shreds named bosses. Does a lot of DPS. Even without the frenzy buff, it's a really good option for an LMG. A lot of people go for the infantry MG5, just down to your personal preference, or even the Bullet King, potentially. It's down to you. Mix and match. Go with what you feel comfortable with. If you didn't know as well, you've also got the option to reroll exotics now. If you head over to your crafting bench, select whatever you may want to reroll. Let's say it's a weapon. Go into your weapons section. Down the bottom, you've got the reconfigure option. So whatever exotics that you already have, you now have the option to reconfigure them in your crafting bench. It costs 1 exotic component and then your standard amount of materials. So your 36 polycarbonate, 26 titanium. In this case, if I want to reconfigure Merciless. One thing to note though, it does reconfigure all 3 of the attributes. You cannot reconfigure one like you can on a normal piece of gear. So if you're spending these components, it will re-roll all 3 attributes. You do not get to choose. It does it for you. So if you've got the materials to spend, by all means, go for it. If you haven't, make sure you think about it. Make sure it's what you want to do. On my Sawyer's knee pads, I did re-roll. So I had the max armor value, but my secondary attributes were really low. They were down. My explosive resistance was down at 2.3%, and my health was down at 6,000 something. Re-rolled it, and as you can see now, we've got some nice values there, and they are a good armor piece. So be careful when you're recalibrating your exotics. So the main thing here is going to be adjusting your playstyle. Obviously you could be a lot more aggressive if you were running the shield before. Now it's just going to be a case of playing a little bit smarter, a little bit more intelligent, using the cover provided and working from that. Let's do it.
Get him.
Hostile radio intercepted.
Ma'am, division spotted by the arcade.
Take care of it. I'm going after the cleaner, and the last thing I need is some other fucking agent in my way.
Understood, ma'am.
Vital signs critical.
So as you can see here, I'm just sat in cover. Enemies are in the distance. I feel comfortable poking my head up because I know I've got that little bit of extra armor. I'm not running glass cannon, so I know I'm not going to be melted straight away. If enemies get a little bit too close, I can run the Banshee. I've got a grenade coming in now. Doesn't stagger me. I stay in cover. I can just stick an armor kit on and be as safe as I was before. So it does feel really nice actually. I'm trying not to move so I can keep that damage stack up. I've got another grenade coming in now. Not a major concern. And I can just keep that 30% boost from the Sawyer's knee pads. And just nice and calmly, nice and patiently finish the encounter. That feels really nice actually.
critical. Serious trauma detected.
You're dead!
Serious trauma detected. Agent out of action.
Mike, keep moving!
Immediate medical assistance needed.
I see you there.
I think I spotted Dolores and a patrol moving.
Ooh, we got some rogue agents. So this would be a good chance to speak about the buffs, or nerfs, sorry,
Detected.
supposed nerfs of rogue agents.
Rogue defender drone detected. Rogue airburst seeker mine detected.
Supposedly, rogue agents are going to be doing less damage. This guy didn't sneak up on me. I might. So this is where we get the frenzy coming in now. See the frenzy melt him there. That was really, really handy. Gonna get some right foam grenades. That comes in from the gunner. Just to force them back. Give us a little bit of space. Banshee's come back up now. Seeker mine. Pop an armor kit back on here. Don't mind that. Wait for him to throw the grenade in. Might be able to move up here. Get that Banshee going. Stopped him throwing the grenade. Got a little bit of damage off there. Happy with that. This is where we get frenzy again. Look at it do the work. Nice. Really happy with that.
Rogue defender drone detected. Rogue airburst seeker mine detected.
Airburst. Oof. Managed to avoid the bulk of that damage. Nearly dead. There we go. Nice. Really happy with that encounter. That worked really, really well. We got a reasonable roll rifle there. So I'm going to pick that one up actually. Don't need those knee pads. And sadly, the other rogue agent didn't drop anything. So I see Ubisoft haven't done us any favours there with the TU9 update. And making sure the rogue agents that should drop really, really good loot still don't all that much. Never mind. Moving on. Nice. As you can see, that Banshee working really well again there for us. Just to suppress those guys that are coming in close. Give us time to work and do what we've got to do.
Agent in need of backup.
Wait for the shot to go off. Engage.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
Tango's back in the fight.
Like I said, remember making the most of those armor kits. Use a Banshee here.
What just happened?
Give us that opportunity to fire. Nice. It works really, really well. There we go. Job done. Move on to the next bit.
Passing a jammer. Friendly drone going up. Pressing. Show me the mark.
Rogue hive detected.
Shoot him, damn it.
No idea what's going on. I'm blind. Grenade coming in.
Right there.
Need to stop that guy. Nice.
Fire. Oh, hell.
Get the Banshee going.
Help him get free.
Good angle there to finish him off. Nice. I know I can tank the grenades, but I'm not going to take the damage just for the hell of it. You know what I mean? I'll tank them if I absolutely need to.
Vital signs critical.
Hostile on their feet.
Not quite sure where that guy's going. But the controller's dead, so we're happy. Almost got in an awkward spot there just because they were trying to get the flank on us, but we made it work. Would have helped if I had a reloaded LMG ready to go, but hey ho. We keep plugging away.
Hostiles detected.
Here we go. Nice. Oh, got an exotic drop there. Wonder if that's going to be anything decent.
I just spotted Dolores and her patrol on the boardwalk.
Oh,
Looks like they barely managed to pass by a group of cleaners. Where am I?
Banshee coming in clutch again, doing its thing. Nice. Chameleon. I mean, we've already got one, so we're going to loot it as junk, but we've got a drop. So we got our name guy up here. We're not going to rush up there. Just going to let them show their faces and do our thing. I mean, it would help if we could actually hit our shots. I mean, how this guy's shooting me, I have no idea. Gonna move up. Let's get aggressive. Nice. So Banshee saved us there once again. Doing its thing. So now we just got to get close enough. Let our Sawyer's knee pads stack up a little bit. Get the Banshee ready. That's his gas tank popped. And there we go, he's nearly dead. Just gotta wait for him to pop his head out one more time. Can't quite shoot his feet there. Oh, come on, mate. Oh, of course he's gonna blind fire me. There we go.
Listen. Spread the fuck out. Cleaners, division, whoever the hell is in our way. Empty a fucking mag in their head. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Nice. Get that in there before he starts attacking us. Banshee doing its thing.
There are explosives detonating everywhere. What the fuck is going on?
And we got the frenzy bonus of the reloaded mag there.
Vital signs critical.
Give me a chance to get this armor kit on. There we go, he's dead. And get rid of that guy. AR's much better from a distance compared to the LMG.
Ma'am, there are cleaners
Use the LMG if we get up
Kill
close.
them, dumbass! It's easy! Aim and pull the fucking trigger!
There are too many! Ah!
Can someone get a fucking mark on Twitter?
Can't see shit. I need to avoid these grenades, man. There we go. Right, that's one less to deal with. Wait for this blinding effect to go. Dodge that bad boy.
We got a man down.
Banshee doing its thing again. Nice. User opening there to get rid of that. Move away from that grenade. Get a reload in. Alright, who we got left? AR time, I think. Someone trying to get a flank on us. Spotted you there, mate, don't worry. Could do it trying to get that grenadier first. There we go, nice. Nice. CSAR does good work from a distance. Nice. Beauty about having the LMG, you've just got enough rounds in the mag just to get enough DPS down and clear them out, especially when you got those helicopter spawns. So that was really nice there. Top up those armor kits before we move on. More cleaners again. And that right there is exactly why we run Banshee. Look at the opening it gives us. Really, really helpful. So good. You don't need your fixer drone if you make use of your armor kits.
Dolores Jones. I thought you'd be dead by now, but you are one tough cookie.
Come out of your little hidey hole, you fucking coward. And I'll show you exactly how tough I am.
Strong guy left.
We're done here.
Ah, there we go.
Keener! Alright. Who's up for killing some division agents? I know I sure as fuck am.
Gonna move around the side, try and get a flank on this dog first.
Immediate medical assistance
There we go.
needed.
That's the dog down. That's what we wanted to get rid of. What the hell?
Serious trauma detected.
Jesus Christ. So that was an enemy spawn. How we got out of that, I have no idea. But I'll take it. Got away with using the hive there. Anyone running glass cannon would have been dead there. And that's definitely the Sawyer's knee pads armor proving their worth.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
That was close. So another nerf that apparently occurred is the enemies doing less shotgun damage, and the range of the shotguns has been reduced as well. So that is another update from TU9. Hide ourselves in here for a minute. Give ourselves plenty of cover. Can't get the flank on us from here, he says, as someone gets the flank on him. Beautiful. These bastard dogs. Where's he gone? Ah, there he is. There we go, dog down. Pick up that bad boy. Gonna need that. Oh, there's a big guy. Oof. Nice. Right. Reload that. Get ourselves ready.
Guess I have to take care of your sorry ass before I can get to Tina.
You definitely notice the health damage difference between the AR and the LMG. So switching between the two, depending on what you're fighting, is definitely a good idea. Get some DPS on him while we can. Make the most of your firing opportunities. So we got most of that in without having to use our Banshee there. Gonna use the Banshee here just to finish him off. There we go. Again, slowly but surely. Just ticking away. Try and force this guy out.
Vital signs.
Whoa. That bitch popped up out of nowhere, didn't she? Ah, come on, you. There we go. Baited him out.
So I can kill Keener.
Alright, let's see what this bitch is up to. So we're just going to do what we did before with the rogue agents. Try and get close. Use the Banshee. Get the damage in.
Immediate medical assistance needed.
We're going to just die.
Agent out of action.
Shouldn't have tried to move there. That was a silly mistake. Gonna pop an armor kit here. Need to get her down off her perch, really. See if we can get around here. Use the Banshee.
You're one of them Brazilian motherfuckers, aren't you?
Just to try and goad her down. Nice. Look at that damage. Really nice. Oh, of course she's going to heal herself. Of course. Expected nothing less. There we go. She's down now, that's what we wanted. Just gonna avoid those grenades. No point in trying to absorb them for the hell of it. Banshee's back up in a second, so we can try and engage on her with that. Unless she just comes out of cover and we can kill her straight away.
Sam? Come in.
Job done.
Jones is gone.
So there you have it. There is the new DPS build that I believe is going to be really, really good in this meta now after all those TU9 updates that we had yesterday. So give it a try, see what you think, comment down below, let me know any changes that you think might work really, really well with it. Still a little bit of tweaking to go on my end, but I think I'm pretty much there. Stay tuned and we will be coming up with some more build videos very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Ciao for now.